Okay, dokie.
Yeah.
What is happening, people? How you darn? How you darn? We got football tonight, so it's a great day to be great. And finally, it's a serious matchup, right? No more Panthers
Yeah.
and Bears nonsense. We've got an AFC North showdown. Ravens and Bengals, and that division, man, that division is tight. So this is going to mean a lot for both of these teams. I'm excited for this game. It's probably maybe the second Thursday night football game this year I've been genuinely excited for. So we got some good football tonight. Thanks for joining us. Do me a massive favor. Go ahead and hit that like button for us. Very simple way for you to support the channel. We will be answering questions from top to bottom. Super chats do get priority. They skip the line. So just keep that in mind. It is an option for you. And Dreezy, in fact, is the first question we will answer. He did donate a super chat. Shout out to you. Crunch time, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex. Thank you. From Mostert, Mixon, Connor. Let's start with the 2 running backs, Mostert, Mixon, and Connor. For me, this is probably Mixon and Connor. I don't know where you stand. At the wide receiver spot, it would be Puka, Justin Jefferson if he plays. And then it's close between Kirk and Tank Dell. Here's what I'll say. Mixon, Connor, Puka, Jefferson if he plays. And if Jefferson plays, I'll go Tank Dell. If Jefferson doesn't play, I'll go Tank Dell and Christian Kirk.
Okay. I'm with you there on the running backs, Mixon and Connor. I would go Puka and Kirk if Justin Jefferson doesn't play. If Justin Jefferson plays, it's Jefferson and Kirk. Oh, well, yeah. So Puka, Tank,
Jefferson and
Kirk.
Puka, right?
Sorry. This is what I meant to say. 2 wide receivers and a flex. So it will be Jefferson and Puka at the 2 wide receivers. In the flex, I would start Kirk Cousins. If Justin Jefferson doesn't play, it will be Puka, Tank, and Kirk Cousins. Or Christian Kirk, excuse me. Yeah, hopefully that helps.
All right, that is good to know. So thank you, Andreezy, for your super chat. Very kind of you. Again, guys, if you want to skip the line, that is an option, not an obligation. The first question in order, though, is from Mr. Prune, 1951. Start 1 running back and 1 flex. Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Tyler Boyd, Noah Brown. This would be Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones for me. I do like Tyler Boyd tonight, but that would be my answer, those 2.
Yeah, I'll go those running backs as well. I would agree. Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones. There's a last chance for Aaron Jones, in my opinion, until I don't know. Like, my thing is, do you risk it with Aaron Jones or you just start Tyler Boyd? Because I feel like he has a safer floor than Aaron Jones personally.
I just love Aaron Jones's matchup, and yeah, Tyler Boyd
we
was
said
great
that
last week, but
we said that a couple weeks already.
yeah, in one of those weeks he went off.
And the other ones he didn't.
Right. What about Tyler Boyd? Is he a consistent player as well, or am I missing something?
I just think that the opportunities feel safer.
Okay, fair enough.
Than what Aaron Jones is potentially can get you.
All right. Well, for me it would be Aaron Jones, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We just agree to disagree there, and that is okay. The next question is actually a super chat from Easy Vanya. It's a $2 donation. Thank you for your donation, man. You're skipping the line there. Flex 1, Deontay Johnson, James Cook, or Jake Ferguson. I think he might be, yeah, I guess PPR. Otherwise, he would have said half. Deontay, James Cook, and Jake Ferguson.
For me, this would be James, based off matchup. The Jets are pretty bad against the run, top 10 if I'm not mistaken, and giving up points to the running back position. And the Browns are bottom 10 against the wide receiver, so I would rather go James Cook there.
Yeah, I don't trust James Cook. I don't feel a reason to trust him yet personally. So for me, this would probably be Jake Ferguson. Actually, I'm just gonna ride the hot hand that he has been giving us so far. Crisscross Applesauce with the donation. Thank you for your donation, man. Very kind. Olave, Kirk, or Dell rest of season. Still Olave for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think it's closer than we think with Christian Kirk. But yes, I would be going Olave as well.
Okay. Thank you for your donation, man. Very kind. Jake Piazza, thank you for your donation. You are skipping the line there. Half PPR, flex, Keaton Mitchell, Rashee Rice. Oh, man. Keaton Mitchell.
I think I need to
How many
wait
touches
one
does
more
he get
week.
tonight?
That's the thing. I need to wait one more week before I can start him with confidence. I think with your options, I would rather start Rice based off the matchup, the Eagles' top 3, and giving points to the wide receiver position. I like the idea of starting Keaton, but I need to wait. I need to wait one more week because if he comes out this week and he gets, I don't know, 12 to 15 touches, okay.
Yeah. If I knew that Keaton would touch the ball 12 times, I would start him. However, I don't know that. I know he's going to get more involved, but how much? You had 3 carries. Of course you're going to get more involved than 3 carries. Whereas with Rashee Rice, I also really like his matchup this week, so I'm with you. And I think Rice is going to be really necessary to that game as well. I don't see a scenario that the Chiefs are up big and not needing to utilize a Rashee Rice. I think it'll be a competitive game. We did get another super chat from Cole. Thank you guys for the donations. You guys are awesome. Cole says Herbert or Kyler Murray, 6-point passing touchdown or 4-point passing. I mean, which one is it? Which format are you in?
Which format are you in? I guess maybe he's asking. I think either way, I'm going with Justin Herbert personally. Whether it's 6 points or 4 points.
I'm going Herbert too, although I do really like Kyler Murray this week. I'll talk about him in a video tomorrow for you guys. But those are all the donations for now. We appreciate y'all. Do us a favor, guys. If you're just joining, smash that like button for us. Just 7 likes away from 50. We are getting very close to Thursday Night Football. Week 11 is about to kick off. We are answering questions all the way up until kickoff from top to bottom in order. Super chats do skip the line. Eater is the next question. Says, I traded Joe Mixon for Tony Pollard, also Connor and Waddle for Ford and Metcalf. Your guys' thoughts on the schedule? I traded Joe Mixon for Tony Pollard, also Connor and Waddle for Ford and Metcalf. Here's what I will say. The Connor and Waddle deal I don't like. I definitely prefer Waddle and James Conner. But the first one I'm kind of fine with. I think it's pretty even. But I think specifically the second trade I really don't love. Metcalf has not been the Metcalf that we're used to. And James Conner, I just think is going to be good rest of the year. I know he didn't have a great game to start, but he will be the main piece in that backfield, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree there. The second part, Connor and Waddle do have tough schedules. I did bring out that video with wide receivers and running backs this past week. The one that I did say, at least in the Miami wide receiver room, I did want to pivot from was Jalen Waddle. If I can pivot to anyone else, I still wanted to keep Tyreek Hill.
Sure.
I like Ford for sure because he does have a really good strength of schedule. I would agree that Metcalf is a downfall here. If Metcalf potentially was a Chris Olave, maybe even someone like a Christian Kirk or a Brandon Ayuk or a Nico Collins or Tank Dell who really have good strength of schedules. Now they're not up to that standard of wide receiver that Waddle is, but anyone that just had an easier schedule, maybe I would have been happy with. But I would agree with Zach. Don't love the second trade.
Always trying to be honest. That's the point of the stream. Cameron just donated, so he'll skip the line. Thank you for your donation, man. He says, Gus or Keaton? My heart goes Keaton. Yeah. So I'm gluten free. I mean, let me clarify. My healthiest self is gluten free. It's what I should be doing, but my heart loves gluten. Now, when I eat gluten, my body does not like it. So just keep that in mind. What the heart wants is not always what you actually need. Okay? And in this particular scenario, I would say if anyone's getting a goal line touchdown, that's probably Gus Edwards. However, we are all very well aware that Keaton could at any moment rip off a long touchdown. So, again, if I knew Keaton would touch the ball 12 times, I would go Keaton here. I don't know that. And based on who has the opportunities on the goal line, I would lean Gus. But it's not going to be fun. This is just not going to be fun, because if you choose the wrong way, you're really going to regret it as you watch this game. But
I would agree. I mean, I said this I had the running back videos this week. I said I'm still starting Gus Edwards with confidence because of what you said, that goal line opportunity. Once they get there, he will be the guy. Keaton probably be the guy, or probably gets a touchdown because he broke a big one. And maybe we'll be proven wrong today if Keaton is in the goal line area and he's the one gaining the opportunity there. And that can be a major concern for maybe Gus Edwards later on down the road. But at the moment, I would be going Gus. Because once again, those goal line opportunities.
However, I will say that make sure any decisions that we give you advice on tonight, you guys take ownership of what you decide to do. Okay, we can give you our opinions, we can tell you what we would do. However, we do not have a crystal ball, and we can only tell you based off the information we have what we would do. So make sure that you do your decisions with conviction tonight. Of course, we're always happy to be a sounding board. We got another donation from Jose Cuervo. Thank you for the donation. Burrow or Fields? This would be Burrow for me. I am excited that Fields is back. Of course, Fields has the upside to be the quarterback one on any given week, but I am going to go Burrow. I mean, in the past 3 weeks since the bye week, he hasn't scored under 24 points in a 6-point passing touchdown format. So I'm going to go ahead and lean Burrow here myself.
Yep, completely agree. Thank you so much for the super chat. Julian, he said, can you rank Hal, Murray, Dobbs best to worst for the week, and would you start Keaton or Tony Pollard? Starting off at the ranking stage here, it'll be Murray, Hal, Dobbs for me, and then I would be starting Tony Pollard over Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm with you, Murray, Hal. You know, I actually have Dobbs ahead of Hal.
Okay.
No, I don't. My bad.
Okay.
No, I'm with you. Sorry.
Okay.
They're back to back in my rankings. That's where I got a little bit mixed up. But I made that change this morning. I'm just, I was concerned a little bit about like a potential surprise bad game because of the Giants' offense and not needing to throw the ball. But when I think about Washington's offense, it just feels like they're always throwing. So don't want to overthink it too much, and we will go ahead and agree. Kyler, okay. Sam, and Dobbs, but Dobbs is a top 12 start for me this week. And then the other one is Keaton or Tony. I'll go Tony, even though it's been bad.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going Tony as well. Thank you so much for the super chat there, Julian. Next one we do have is from Sam Canada. Got offered Mostert and Puka for Devon Achane. Thoughts? Should I start Pacheco or Chandler? Mostert and Puka I'm okay with it as well.
If you were to ask me who do I prefer rest of the year between those two Miami running backs, clearly I would prefer Achane based off what we've seen so far, but I still think Mostert's going to have good games, and to get Puka Nacua basically for free, that's pretty crazy to me. Like, I would consider Puka a top 12 wide receiver pretty much every week that Matthew Stafford is healthy in my rankings, so... And then you said start Pacheco or Chandler. It would be Chandler for me if there's no Madison. Otherwise, Pacheco.
Agreed. Completely agree. Pacheco has one of the toughest matchups this week. I know it should be a high-scoring game. That's why it's Jet McKinnon week, ladies and gentlemen. Jet McKinnon. Be careful.
That is all the super chats for now. We are answering questions from top to bottom. So keep that in mind. A lot of questions up here at top. Super chat does skip the line. But the next question is from I don't know how to say it. Who do I start? Need 2 running backs, full PPR. Keaton, Raheem, James Cook, Herbert, Ty Chandler, Dameon Pierce. I'm ruling out Dameon Pierce. I'm ruling out Khalil Herbert. And I'll probably rule out Keaton. So it would be Raheem and... I think Raheem and James Cook.
Yep, that's where I'm going. Raheem and James Cook. I would say... I'm interested in Ty Chandler. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm confident starting him over Raheem. No, I'm not. Raheem and James Cook there.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps. MH, he says no more bye weeks, full PPR, 2 flex, always leaving somebody good on my bench. Would you make a trade before the deadline? Thielen, DJ Moore, Kirk, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, D Hop. I mean, absolutely. If you feel like you are trying to make a bad decision, maybe you can package 2 of these guys and get maybe a superstar. Can you send? I doubt you can, but hypothetically, can you send a Devontae Adams and a Garrett Wilson and get a Tyreek Hill? You
That's
need
not
to get a
happening,
big.
but I hear what you're saying.
I'm saying like get a big superstar name that like
Sure.
you can get like do a 2-for-1. It can be Tyreek Hill, it can be a Stephon Diggs, a Keenan Allen, an AJ Brown.
Yeah.
You want to go for those big heavy hitter guys, whatever that looks like for you.
AJ Star says standard flex 2, Henderson, Hollywood, McBride, and Boyd. For me, this would be McBride and Hollywood.
Yeah.
I
McBride
want
and
as
Hollywood,
many
too.
pieces I can get in the Houston-Arizona game this week, by the way, guys. I'm very excited for that matchup. Highest over-under of the week. Makes sense, 2 really good quarterbacks. 2 defenses that can't really stop quarterbacks. So it should be a good matchup. Zane, what's up, my man? Start 3, McLaurin, Tank Dell, Debo, and Devonta Smith.
Last 3 there. You said McLaurin. I'm starting Tank, Debo, and Devonta Smith.
Sit McLaurin. I mean, look, this is a very good matchup for Terry. I'm concerned if Nico's healthy. Last time Terry played, he had 90 yards against the Giants. I'll say this: if Nico and Noah Brown play, it would be Terry.
Noah didn't practice again today, by the way.
Yeah, but if one of those guys missed, then I would be comfortable playing Tank over Terry. Andreezy says, okay, we already answered that in a super chat. Sports Recapped says McBride or Kincaid this week. I'm gonna rock with Kincaid, although I do love McBride. Also, golf or Purdy. This would be golf for me.
Agreed.
Okay, we're on the same page. Last one for you. He says, if you guys wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate the advice. Is the Commanders' defense against the Giants worth starting over San Francisco? No.
No, I'm still starting 49ers defense.
Yes, yeah.
Agreed.
But the Commanders are a fine stream, just not if that's your option there. All right, next question is from Pigeon Man. Need 2 in my flex, half-point PPR. Yeah, I mean, we don't know if Noah Brown is going to play. And as far as Jacoby goes, he's been unplayable. So I think you go with the running backs, Keaton and Mostert.
And Mostert, yeah, that's really difficult here because Jacoby just hasn't been the same. So,
no.
I would agree. Michael says, is Devonta Smith, Walker for Cooper Kupp and Stevenson a good trade? Full PPR. Thanks. I still would want Devonta Smith and Walker. I know Walker has a tough schedule. But I'm really happy with Devonta Smith, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Walker.
This is close. I kind of view Kupp as a bigger upgrade than Smith.
I think it's an upgrade. I don't think it's a massive upgrade. I don't think it's like it was before without Puka.
This would be the Cooper Kupp side for me. Ken Walker has already been pretty inconsistent. With Zach Charbonnet getting more and more opportunities in that backfield. It was the 3rd week in a row he outsnapped him. Now he got a lot of touches. He got the breakaway touchdown. But I'm trying to rationalize with myself. Is Walker going to be that much better than Stevenson the rest of the year? Of course you prefer Walker. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's not like Walker's getting the amount of receptions that Stevenson is. So I would go the Kupp side because I view Kupp as an upgrade over Devonta Smith more than what Walker is over Stevenson.
That's fair.
Donald Smith says, good evening. Flex 1, DJ Moore or Tyler Boyd. It'd be DJ Moore for me.
Agreed.
Ingram or McBride this week. I'm going McBride.
I would go McBride as well.
Akshay says, who's a safer and more reliable start between Stroud and Lamar? The safer play is Stroud. The higher upside is Lamar. Lamar has probably lost you more games than he's won in his career, as crazy as that sounds. But it's just like his huge games just win you your entire week when he does go off. But I mean, I'm just looking at his schedule so far this year: a 6-point game, a 10-point game, a 13-point game, another 10-point game. So I think you can't really sit Lamar because of the boom potential that he always has. But this is one of those reasons I was a little bit skeptical about him on our Dynasty channel in the offseason. And then I kind of turned a corner. I just thought, man, all those weapons, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, that's how I would kind of play it permanently, regardless of matchup. Honestly, Badaki is like, Lamar has the most upside any week, but Stroud is safer.
Yeah, I would agree there. Michael says bench 2, Devonta Smith, Adams, Hollywood, Rice. I mean, all these guys should be started. It kind of feels like if I had a bench 2, it will be Adams and Rice. Personally, I'm starting Devonta Smith and Hollywood this week.
So this would be, I love Hollywood this week, but I wouldn't start him over Devontae myself. So that would be Devonta Smith and Devontae Adams starting for me. Philip says start Glock Purdy or Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
I'm starting Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow there. Keaton says Dobbs or Kyler, Burrow or Purdy. So be Kyler and then Brock. Joe Burrow for me.
Words are hard. DJ Moore or Trey McBride at the flex. I would still go DJ personally. Now that Justin Fields is back.
Did you notice that you say McBride? You ever notice that?
McBride? No, McBride. McBride.
I've heard you say it like 5 times this week, and I was like, no, he didn't mean to say that. And I was like, does he accidentally say that on purpose?
McBride. I don't know.
It's words.
People know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Who did you go again? Sorry.
I'm going DJ Moore now with Justin.
I feel really good about McBride this week. Really, really good. I'm gonna go McBride. I think you're probably making the safer call there, but I'm gonna go McBride. There is not a better matchup in the NFL right now when you adjust for schedule than the Houston Texans against tight ends. Yeah. Highest over under of the week. I'll go McBride there, but I can understand both ways there.
I get it. Ray, he says, should I start Joe Mixon or Saquon in half PPR since Saquon seems to be dealing with an ankle and is questionable?
Mixon for me.
Yeah, this one's tough. I still go Saquon here. But Joe Mixon has an interesting matchup as well. I know he's dealing with injury, but he is really the only safe pillar, in my opinion, in this backfield, personally.
Yeah, I just think I don't think there's a worse team in the NFL right now than the Giants, and I'm not sure there's a worse offense either. So
some would say the Carolina Panthers.
I genuinely think the Giants are worse than the Panthers.
We are worse because of our quarterback. Our quarterback is a third string that lives in his mom's house.
Yeah,
which is nothing wrong. Shout out to live with. I would love to live with my mom again.
Absolutely.
I mean,
but for me, Mixon's on the better offense. I think he has a better chance at a touchdown. I have drastically lowered Saquon in my rankings this week, personally.
Yeah, I get it.
Thank you for the question. We did just get a donation from Houdini Weenie. Thank you for the donation there. You're going to skip the line. Sup, fellas? Half PPR, 2 running backs, 1 flex. Mixon, Monty, Hall, Tank. Monty is a must start. Breece Hall is a must start. And then I guess it's between Mixon and Tank.
I think it just all depends on if Noah Brown or Nico doesn't play. Did Nico practice today? I think he did.
I think I actually, now that we're talking about it, I think I remember Nico saying he would play.
He said logs another practice. Yeah, I do remember him saying he will play as well. I feel confident in the 3 running backs personally, Mixon, Monty, and Hall. That's where I would go there.
Yeah, I think Mixon is probably the right play over Tank. I'm just trying to rationalize in my head. Yeah, we're gonna go the running backs as well. Very, very close. Thank you for your donation. I think if it was full PPR, I might actually lean Tank, but half PPR gives me a little more comfort with Mixon. But shout out to everybody watching the stream. Over 100 people watching now. We're going to be live all the way up until kickoff. We're answering questions from top to bottom. A super chat will skip the line. No obligation, but it is available to you. And do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button for us as we help you set your lineups. You can help the channel. Eric says, what's up? Can't decide between Miami or Cleveland defense. Poor quarterback play might hurt the Browns. Starting Lamb, Evans, Ridley with Kincaid. Okay, between Miami and Cleveland, I'm still playing Cleveland. I don't know about you.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm still playing Cleveland. Understand the concern, but that's just one of the best defenses in the NFL. And then the other question, would you start Michael Wilson over anyone, over Ridley? No, not yet. I wouldn't, at least.
Yeah, not yet.
I do like Michael Wilson.
It is interesting with Michael Wilson, though. The reports, Kyler Murray kind of practicing on the side with him, but we got to wait and see what that looks like. I mean, if he scores that touchdown, are you starting Michael Wilson? Probably.
I don't know, maybe, but
you know,
if
that wasn't turned back, that would have been a huge
Calvin's
conversation.
Matchup a little bit better, and I'm not as concerned about Trevor seeing the amount of pressure he saw last week as he will this week. But it would be close.
Okay.
Flowers, Boyd, Ridley, Brandon Cooks. One for the flex.
I'm going Flowers here.
Flowers over Boyd.
Yeah, I'm still going Flowers.
I want to say Flowers.
He wants to.
And
the real question is, who would you start over?
What do you mean?
Because all right, sorry, I can answer the question because I'm interested to see if you were to say somebody else and why you would say somebody else.
Well, I feel like every week I'm let down by Zay Flowers' usage. And why would this week be any different? I think we can make a narrative in our head that we make every week for him. I want the answer to be Zay Flowers. I want Zay Flowers to score the most points. However, I think my answer is Tyler Boyd.
Okay.
That is a very difficult question. As someone who loves the player Zay Flowers and is sad about his situation. So hopefully that is helpful. Bruce Wayne with the donation. Thank you for the donation. You're skipping the line there. He says, I'm 8-2, 14-man keeper league, full PPR. Should I trade Najee Harris and Devin Singletary for Pollard? Okay, this is a trade that I like. I don't know where you stand, but I'm not personally sold that Devin Singletary just dominates the backfield whenever Dameon Pierce is healthy. I did bring Devin Singletary as a stash through a couple of videos this year. That's working out. However, I think I would lean Pollard. I think he has the clearest road when we're in the playoffs to fantasy points, personally.
Yeah, I agree. I think overall I would still want Tony Pollard, even though he hasn't been performing. You just hope. Look, any given week he could be the guy. He just hasn't been it in the first 11 weeks of the season, 10 weeks of the season. So I'm happy to go with Tony Pollard there. Thank you so much, Bruce.
Something else I would just quickly say, by the way, is we need to clarify the whole Jaylen Warren won the role conversation, because that's actually not necessarily true. I misunderstood the way that Mike Tomlin talked about this in a press conference. So yes, Jaylen Warren has technically been named the starter for this week, but that's more out of honor for him because it's a big night for Jaylen Warren. It's not necessarily so much that he has just outright won the job. So from what I understand, I don't think that Najee has completely lost his job. It's just they want to honor Jaylen Warren. He said in his press conference, I've done it for tight ends before. I've done it for different positions. It's to honor that player, to say that we see your good work. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he is now the clear-cut guy over Najee Harris. So just something to keep in mind there. But that will be very interesting to watch this week, what happens there. We got a donation from Van Man. So we'll get to that straight away. He says, do I take this trade? Me, Etienne, Kincaid for Saquon, Kelsey, Olave.
Me,
Also,
Etienne.
to be fair,
you're going with the trade? Sorry, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, you're a part of the deal, so you're getting traded to the other team.
Love it.
And to be fair, my only solid running back is Etienne with the Texans running backs and Keaton Mitchell. Etienne, Kincaid for Saquon, Kelsey, Olave. The downgrade from Etienne to Saquon is really what's causing me to be cautious here. I wonder what your wide receiver room looks like now if you add Olave. But you're telling me now your running back room would be Saquon, Devin Singletary, Dameon Pierce, and Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah.
How many points are you going to expect from that group in the playoffs? Unless Keaton Mitchell pops off and just starts dominating.
Mm-hmm.
Does that running back room win you a championship?
Mm-hmm.
I
would say
think
this.
so.
I'm not sure. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not sure if because I did the research on this a little bit earlier, but I'm pretty sure Travis Etienne does have a really tough strength of schedule.
Yeah, he does.
Not saying that you should be concerned, or let me rephrase that. I'm not saying that like you should go ahead and trade him away, but after what we saw this past week, when you think of the matchups that he is going to be going up against, and maybe it's not. I know he plays the Bucks in Week 16, which is a really tough matchup against the running backs. And he also plays the Ravens, which that one concerns me in Week 15.
He plays the Panthers in championship week.
The thing is, you have to get there, and the first two are the toughest ones. So, for example, the first one in Week 15, if we are seeing this trend, like we've seen the 49ers absolutely dominate, we've seen the Ravens dominate their defense dominate other offenses like a Trevor Lawrence. Not like a Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence specifically, I am concerned because they can abandon the run game. Something that I said in the video saying that I'm not scared of Travis Etienne not producing. I'm maybe wanting to solidify a better matchup. Now, Saquon Barkley, that answer? Absolutely not. But I just wanted to put that out there for Van Man. Because if I'm not mistaken, Saquon does have a tough matchup as well. He plays the Eagles. I think in Week 15.
Yeah, the Bucks don't concern me, honestly. I just think you can use him creatively, and I definitely understand the concern with Baltimore. But I mean, Travis Etienne has had over 5 targets in half his games this year, so I think that gives him a pretty safe floor. But I definitely understand the concern.
I think we just haven't seen a tough matchup.
I'm trying to win it all, and I understand that Week 15 is the one that concerns us, Baltimore. I get it; that's a tough matchup, totally. But I don't think I don't think we should completely adjust our expectations after San Francisco just wiped the floor with the Jags. Their defense was back on track; it was completely elite. But to me, I want to win the whole damn thing, and if I make it to Week 17, I understand there's both sides; you have to get there. But if I make it to Week 17, there is not another running back you will want outside of Christian McCaffrey and maybe Austin Eckler than Travis Etienne on your team in Week 17.
Yeah. Look, I hear you. The only thing I was concerned about when I said that in the video is like the trends, because the last time he played a really good defense was the Kansas City Chiefs, and look, I'm pretty sure he had under 10 fantasy points that week as well. Other than that, not saying he has an easy schedule, he had easy going, just saying like if you really look at the defenses, they're not the heavy hitters. He played a heavy hitter in the 49ers. He played a heavy hitters in the Kansas City Chiefs. And going into the playoffs in Week 15, he has the Baltimore Ravens, which is also a heavy hitter. So that's my only concern. I am not concerned about anything else other than that matchup. Because I agree, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not a massive concern, but somebody you should keep an eye out on because they are top 10.
Yeah, Baltimore for sure is concerned. I hear you there, but those other two ones don't concern me that much.
Yeah, I agree.
I just feel like you're gonna be able to throw on the Baltimore Ravens and you'll have goal line opportunities. But I mean, look, here's what I'm trying to say. I would be, man. I'm sorry, dude. I just don't have my trust in Saquon It's not Saquon's problem. It's everything else around him. I'm not sure there's been a bigger discrepancy between a player's talent and the surrounding talent around him in the NFL in 5 years. That's how bad I think your offense is.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, I know, but I know you would agree
disagreeing.
with me. I know you want your team to tank and everything, but like,
Caleb,
that's
come home.
why I'm concerned because, again, like, will Saquon score more than one touchdown the rest of the year?
I think he will. If there's an opportunity for him to score, it will probably be against Washington, to be fair.
Yeah.
Historically, whether it was with injuries, and I haven't seen with the quarterbacks as well, but historically, Saquon Barkley has been great against the Washington Commanders. Now, historically, has he done that with a third-string quarterback?
Yeah, this is probably the worst team he's ever been a part of.
Exactly.
And that is saying a lot because your Giants have been really bad with Saquon.
So my thing is, I'm going based off historical stats. Based off that, I just know that they're probably going to give him the opportunity to run the ball, more dump-off passes, more whatever the case may be. The more Tommy DeVito gets acclimated to the game, the better he is going to. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but the better he is going to be, at least to dump the ball off to Saquon Barkley, because he can't even do that in the first couple games. But I'm not for this trade specifically. I still rather have Travis Etienne personally.
Yeah, that's a really, really, really difficult question for me to answer, and I think the only way I consider saying yes to this deal is if Olave is like drastically upgrading your starting lineup. If you're in one of those leagues where you've got, let's say, 2 starting wide receivers, 1 flex, then Olave's probably not doing that. But if you're in a league with 3 wide receivers or multiple flexes, then I think this becomes a little bit more viable. So yeah, hopefully that is helpful. I think on the outside, it's like, of course, why the hell wouldn't you do this? It's just, my concern is really Saquon. But you upgrade with Kelsey and Olave, probably top 15 guy rest of the year. So hopefully that's helpful. There's a lot of context potentially needed there. We got a super chat from Yvonne. Tyler Boyd or Rashee Rice? Tyler Boyd or Rashee Rice? I know what my answer is.
This one's tough. Yeah, this one's tough.
This would be Rashee Rice from me. I'll just step in there. Kansas City is going to need to throw against this defense. You do not attack this defense by rushing on them. In fact, they give up the fewest rushing yards per game, and they give up top 5 passing yards per game. They also give up the second most when you look at schedule adjusted fantasy points to the wide receiver position. So this would be Rashee Rice for me. I think Tyler Boyd can have a good game. It depends on your options. We've had questions before where I've said Tyler Boyd, but for me, this would be Rashee Rice. I think he's very, very necessary. It's like I talked about how he was probably necessary versus the Dolphins. To be fair, he scored a touchdown versus the Dolphins in the first half. They just didn't need him again. Now, in this game, I think that's different. I think they will need Rashee Rice versus the Eagles. So this would be Rashee Rice for me.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the safer floor here. And without T. Higgins, I feel like that's Tyler Boyd. So I'm gonna go Tyler Boyd here.
Yeah.
Because it can just get to a point. I'm not saying there's no way that the Chiefs are gonna just go out in there and be freaking superstars and have a lead. But like, I can just see this could be a Travis Kelce game. This can be Kelce, 14 targets, 3 touchdowns type vibe. And then maybe Rashee Rice does have, 5 targets and a touchdown. But I don't think the floor is a lot more scarier when I think of Rice, where Tyler Boyd without T. Higgins feels really good. Like if I can get 8 points, even though that's not what you want, I'm okay with that. Compared to Rice, where he can get you probably the same, maybe 6, 4 points or 8 points. So
I hear where you're coming from. I would say you could say the same about it being a Ja'Marr Chase game potentially, but I definitely hear what you're saying. I mean, I would say that the Eagles probably are going into this game and their number one goal is how do we shut down Travis Kelce. Now, if they will be able to do that or not, I don't know. But I can see a case for both sides. We did get a super chat from Ethan. Mitchell, Najee, Deontay, or Rice in the flex. This would be Rashee Rice for me.
This is where I go Deontay.
Okay, yeah. I hear you. I do not want to watch that game, though. I do not want to watch Steelers-Browns this week. That is going to be an interesting one. Joe Castles with the super chat. Thank you for the donation. I'm 7-3. Trade off maybe, or hang on to Jefferson.
Trade or hang on to Jefferson.
The bigger question is always, and we say this quite often, what can you get for Justin Jefferson? Shop him in your league. See what offers come back. But we're always willing to trade a player away if the right offer is there. A CeeDee Lamb, an Amon-Ra, a Chase, a Diggs. Would you rather have Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson the rest of the year?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
I think, let me rephrase that. I think, which I hope PJ Walker is going to somehow play. And depending on how quick Justin Jefferson comes back.
Why are we talking about PJ Walker?
Because you said Amari Cooper or Justin Jefferson.
No, I said Cooper Kupp.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, Cooper Kupp.
You prefer Cooper Kupp? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So that is the way you got to play that one. Fall with the donation. Thank you for your $10 donation. Very kind of you.
Appreciate you.
10-team full PPR 7-3. Hurts, Hall, Jacobs, Hill, Thielen, Kincaid, Devontae, Higgins, Lennon, Kyler, Rashad, Keaton, Kyron, Sharps. What moves should I make? Jacobs for an upgrade at running back or look to upgrade at wide receiver 2? I'll just clarify to everyone in the chat. We typically always say we don't do team reviews or breakdowns on stream. But if someone's going to donate like this, of course, we're going to take some time and try and help them out. Thank you for your donation, Fall. But he's got Hurts. He's got Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs. Honestly, okay, it's a 10-man league. That's what makes this hard is
that's what makes it difficult.
Like everyone's teams are completely stacked. The number one thing I look at in a smaller league, like an 8 or a 10-man, is what's your quarterback, what's your tight end. You got Jalen Hurts, hard to upgrade from that. You got Dalton Kincaid. Right now, it looks like it's hard to upgrade from that outside of getting Kelce, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got Kyler on the bench, which would be a starter for most people.
In a 10-man league, I mean, look.
He's got Tyreek Hill. I mean, what I would probably do is I don't necessarily trust Thielen the rest of the year. So my personal kind of desire there would be to package Thielen and another name on your team to go out and get another superstar. Can I package Thielen and I'm trying to be realistic with the names you've given me here. Kyron Williams, for example, because he's coming back, and you've got Breece Hall and Josh Jacobs. Can I package Thielen and Kyron Williams and go get a top Chase, Lamb, Amon-Ra, Diggs? That's the kind of moves I would make. I would just be consolidating 2-for-1s across the board heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I would agree there. The name that I was going to mention was Kyron. Try and sell Kyron. You have Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, and Rachaad White. I'm trying to sell him as high as possible to a team that needs him potentially, or needs depth.
Would you package Jacobs and Kyron for like an Eckler or CMC? I would.
Yeah, I would as well. Eckler has a phenomenal playoff matchup. Maybe that's what you need to do. What you need to do is look at your team's strength of schedules and pivot in the best way possible.
Some players
that I would do.
I agree. Some players I don't think pivoting is necessary. For example, Tyreek Hill.
Yes, agreed.
Jalen Hurts. Those big superstar names. So thank you for your donation though, man. Appreciate you and hopefully that is helpful. Very kind of you for the donation. We'll be live for about the next 10 minutes, 13 minutes or so. We're answering questions from top to bottom. If there's super chats, they get prioritized. The next one is from K. Joseph. Says Trey McBride, Ridley, Singletary, or Jacoby Myers?
Start one. I'm going Trey out of these.
Yeah, this is Trey
Big
for me
bride.
as well. White or JSN in the flex? I'm assuming that's Rashad White, right?
Yeah, I'm
We'll
going.
go
Yeah,
Rashad.
Rashad White.
Cole says 7-3. Picked up Dowdle yesterday. Reports look promising today. Yeah, I think he'll get more involved, but I don't personally believe that he's taking over that role. I did bring him up as one of my stashes this week, just to kind of proactively add him. I don't think he's going to take the role away.
That's just twisting the knife in the back even more. If Rico gets 40% this Sunday,
40% would not be awful. I don't think.
That's 40% that I feel like Tony Pollard should have versus the Carolina Panthers.
I definitely hear what you're saying, but my concern all year is just they've not been using him right, which is frustrating. Zan says, do I stack Kyler and Hollywood or CJ and Tank? Also, who to start them with Puka? So this sounds like a DFS question. Unless you literally have Kyler and Hollywood, CJ and Tank both on your teams, which maybe you do. Which in any case, both of those stacks are very good plays this week.
Yeah.
For me, I understand the idea of a stack, but I think the best players here would be Kyler and
Hollywood.
Tank.
Okay, for me it would be Kyler and Hollywood. I would take the stack there.
Well, that's on a. Okay, yeah, right. You're right.
Like the stack of Kyler and Hollywood, yeah.
It would be Kyler and Tank for me. I totally get the idea of a tank stack. I just don't really care about that unless I'm in best ball. And it says
I get you.
Who to start with Puka, Debo, Lockett. I'm not sure I understand that part of the question. Do you?
And who to start with them? So like as a flex spot?
I guess we choose one.
Start one.
Well, I would start Puka over Hollywood and Tank. I would start Debo over Hollywood and Tank. I wouldn't start Lockett over those names. So maybe
agreed.
That's helpful.
Yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Because I would agree there as well.
Appreciate that. Cole says Herbert with possibly no Keenan. We just got a report actually that Keenan is planning on playing.
Mm-hmm.
So we should have him this week. Or do I play Kyler Murray? Both are great options. I'll go Herbert.
Agreed.
Eric says somebody dropped Rashawn. Add Rashawn over McLaughlin or McKinnon. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't see a scenario in which any one of these players are startable assets for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I don't have like a strong preference. I think Rashawn, his injury and Deonta Foreman playing well just ruled out any opportunity for him to take that job, honestly.
Yeah, bad timing.
But, man, like if Herbert goes down again, it's probably Deonta Foreman. If Javonte goes down, we've seen Pirines involved. If Pacheco goes down, probably going to be McKinnon getting a lot of work. So I'll lean McKinnon there. That's a tough question, though.
It is a tough question. I think you are just choosing respectfully nothing. No upside or anything. You just hope that somebody gets hurt. Fang.
We got a couple super chats here. So
okay.
Let's make sure we prioritize those. Sorry.
We'll come back to that, Fang.
Colin Smith, thank you for the donation. 6-point passing touchdown, Burrow or Kyler? And can I be honest for a second, Colin? This exact question is like the number one question that I have no idea what to do this week. I know you're probably gonna say Burrow. It's Burrow. Don't question it. I think Kyler. You make the graphics for us. You know my hot take of the week. I'm not gonna say it right now on the stream, but I don't want to spoil it for tomorrow. All I will say is I think this is actually a difficult question because Burrow does not have T. Higgins. T. Higgins had 2 passing touchdowns the last time that they played the Ravens. Kyler Murray is in the highest over-under of the week. And I don't see a scenario in which the Arizona Cardinals defense is allowing them to run the ball. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this question because I'm facing it in my own home dynasty league. I have the same question, and I have no idea. And you know what I did? Right now, at least, because I literally decided this before the stream. I was contemplating for hours. And I decided I want to watch the Thursday Night Football with some sort of motive to root for someone. So I put Joe Burrow in. But I'm not sure of it. I'm not sure of it.
I would be going Joe Burrow. I know he doesn't have T. Higgins. Kyler Murray should have a great game. You know, you look at last time that Joe Burrow played the the Baltimore Ravens. He dropped 20 points. He did score 2 touchdowns, and that was on a bum calf. Doesn't have a bum calf yet. He doesn't have T. Higgins. But you look at the last 3 games he's played: 33 points, 26 points, 24 points. And I am not discrediting Kyler. I am not saying that he won't be able to put up those points. First game out, 18 points, which is phenomenal.
And the thing is that, you know, we've talked about this all week. He was 6 inches away from a 3 touchdown game.
Yeah,
and he was 6 inches away from like the quarterback 2 on the week.
And genuinely, that is the same thing you can say about Joe Burrow. Tyler Boyd catches that ball.
Fair enough. But to be fair, San Francisco, which he faced in week 8, was a terrible defense at that time. Buffalo and Houston have not been good either. Baltimore is I will say this. Baltimore is actually the second most difficult defense they've faced this year outside of the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think it has to be. I don't think it has to be. I think the way the Ravens are playing, it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I'm not and I know we've been saying all week the highest over/under, the second highest over/under is the Cardinals.
The now.
Is the Cardinals and the Texans. We've been waiting for this. I don't know. I will go Joe Burrow personally. Hopefully that helps.
I am going Burrow just so I have a reason to watch this game with excitement. Not that it's already a good game, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
this is probably not helpful, but maybe if anything, Colin can relate to the struggle I'm facing. I'm facing the same struggle.
I think it's safe. I think like you can at least expect 20 points from Joe Burrow. That's what I'm believing. If he gets anything less than 20 points, let's say if he gets anything less than 15 points, it's an absolute fail. That's what I would say. And you would have wished to start at Kyler Murray. But
it's at Baltimore tonight, by the way. It is at Baltimore. I'm thinking about all the teams that have gone into Baltimore this year. It has not been good. The Lions. Think about how you think about the Lions offense right now, guys. Probably think about them as one of the best offenses in the league. No? No? Tell me if I'm wrong. They got molly-whopped. They got abused at Baltimore. How about the Seahawks? Pretty good offense. Pretty good wide receiver room. Absolutely destroyed. So I'm sharing with you guys my own struggle.
Joey B, thank you so much for the super chat there, Colin. We got a couple other super chats here as we are only live for the next 3 minutes after that. Ivan, he said pick 3, Lockett, Boyd, D-Hop, Rice, Rondell. For me, this will be Boyd, Boyd, Lockett, D-Hop.
Good God. That's tough. That is really tough.
Boyd, Lockett, D-Hop for me.
I actually have Rice 1 spot ahead of D-Hop. So it would be Lockett. Yeah, I would sit Boyd here actually. It would be Lockett, D-Hop, and Rice. Lockett, D-Hop, and Rice for me.
I think this. Yeah, I would say for me there would be more of a case to sit D-Hop for Rice, but because the Jags, see if he's gonna get to Will, but we'll wait and see. That's a divisional game as well. That could be very interesting. Hopefully that helps. Once again, I am Lockett, Boyd, D-Hop. Zach is Lockett, D-Hop, Rice, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yep.
All right, next super chat here. It says bench 1. Thank you so much for the super chat. Connor, Mostert, Singletary, Mitchell.
Bench
I will
one.
be sitting Keaton. Yeah, I'll be
But
sitting
Raul,
Keaton.
you got to make this decision for yourself. You got to have accountability for your team. We appreciate the donation, but you got to know that Keaton Mitchell could pop off. You have to be okay if you sit him, knowing the explosiveness that he has, he could pop off. What we're saying is, with the information we currently have, Keaton would not be the best option of all these names. So we would sit Keaton, but best of luck because that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Britton Adams with the donation here. Where's the question? It says start 2. Kirk, Dell, Garrett Wilson, and start Brock or Howell.
So start 2. I will be starting Kirk. Oh. I go Kirk and Garrett Wilson. Both of those guys are going to get the targets no matter what. And at the quarterback position, I'll go Howell.
Yeah, I'll go Howell with you as well. It would be Garrett Wilson and Kirk for me. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson and Kirk. Both, like I said, both those guys getting targets and their floor feels really safe. Joe Burrow on the field
I just wanted
here.
to quickly say, someone said that I told them to start Boyd over Rice. I have not said that this entire stream, have I? When did I say that?
Sure. I'm not sure.
I'm trying to go back and look at the questions.
He said, just told me Boyd over Rice and Flowers. Now he said Rice over Boyd.
I've
Maybe
literally looked at my rankings every time I've answered a question. I don't understand why I would say that.
Because I think we just said, I think if anything, we just said, if
look at his question, I found it. Rice isn't even in the question. Brother, you didn't even give me an answer to choose Rice. And now you're all caps yelling at me. You played yourself.
Yeah, you actually did play yourself, my bro.
Yourself. Hey guys, that is it for today.
He said I asked Boyd, Rice, Flowers, or Ridley.
The chat doesn't lie. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Good luck tonight.
We got receipts, kid.
Hopefully whatever you need to happen today happens for you. Keep in mind, we do not have a crystal ball. Make your own decisions. Have some accountability. We appreciate you, and we'll see you guys in the next stream. All love.
Love.